The G20 is a kind of boombox for concerns of the developing countries, emerging countries largely, towards the G7 members. And it's an important bridge. It's a go-between. It's true that the resolutions are full of good intentions, which are not always followed by action. But on the other hand, they help to create consensus. And in this sense, it's important. What alternatives do we have? Well, we have what China is building now. The BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, now expanding to a lot of other countries, excluding the West, and with possibly in the near future, the financing power of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, which would be a big change. China and Saudi Arabia are the main foreign currency holders in the world. They have the more supply, and therefore they could flex their power. So we have a very difficult situation now for the G20, where some of the members are partly in, partly out. And Xi Jinping's absence speaks to that, while obviously Narendra Modi is trying to use it as a stand, first to bolster India's global position, but also to keep ties between the global south and the developed countries. He has a very difficult job today.
I think it's brilliant what you just said there, but I want to go even deeper into this as well and look at the whole kind of setup of the Western-based institutions, of which the G20 is a latter incarnation, as indeed is the G7, which of course started off as a much smaller G. And to say, are we seeing a serious threat to the global order, to the so-called, as Williamson put it in '89, the Washington consensus of neoliberalism as well? Is something meaningfully going to happen? And I think you alluded to it there, Francois, where you're going to see actually a BRICS-type organisation actually beginning to overwhelm the old order.
The question is, are these guys ready to extend loans without some of the sustainability conditions that the established financial institutions require? It's been clearly the case for China with the Silk Road loans, part of which are not really backed by very serious conditions. They are very tight, however, on repayment, but they don't look at the project as narrowly as Western institutions do. Is Saudi Arabia, is the United Arab Emirates ready to go down that path? I doubt it. So I think there is still going to be a very big distance between rhetorics, and you're going to see anti-Western rhetoric. That was the case for the BRICS summit in Joburg just recently. You can't see anti-Western rhetoric at the G20 summit, but perhaps that's one reason that Xi Jinping doesn't care to go there. Rhetorics and reality, which is still that the preferred interlocutor, the preferred lender, the preferred tech provider is still the West. In the case of India, for example, you've alluded to the recent agreement for the U.S. to transfer weapon technology, or in this case, it's dual use, it's jet engines to India. Yes, it's new, but a country like France has been doing it for several years, and it's been important for India to build that bridge to wean off the Russians, particularly in the context of the Ukraine war, but generally to advance in technology. So, when you look at the practical issues, they may be outside of the G20 forum, but they don't go against it either.
François